Good day, everyone. So, in today's meeting, we're going to discuss about football and its history, trivia, dimensions, rules and regulations, and as well as the hand signals of the officiating officials. So, I'm going to ask for your attention to listen to our meeting. Okay, let's start. So, before we start with the history of the football, let us first some short introduction. What is football? Okay, football is the world's most popular ball game in numbers of participants and expectations, simple of its principles, rules, and essential equipment. Also, these sports can be played almost anywhere, from official football playing fields, gymnasiums, streets, school playgrounds, parks, and even beaches. So according to the FIFA survey or the Federation Internationale de Football Association, there are approximately 500 million footballers across the world. That also includes the referees and the officials. So now let's proceed to the history of football. Okay, basically, football has a long history from different era. That is why many people questions the initiations of the football revolutions and the launch of legends because every culture has their own orientation of the football history. Many nations such as the Japanese, the Chinese, the ancient Greeks has played the ball long before to our era. But according to the survey, the most admitted story tells that the game was developed in England in the 12th century. However, in this century, before England, it is predicted that Chinese played the football game approximately, I mean, further than 300,000 years ago. So later on, I will discuss that. So let's just focus first here in the England. So in this century, the game was resembled football were much more rough and violent than the modern way of playing. So besides from the playing by kicking, it involves pushing and punching. Okay. Then also called as association football or soccer on October 1863. And the football associations began in England and was formed in 1863. I mean, football association are the one who codified the rules of the game because during the 12th century in England, so the game was violent, so they codified the rules. And also, the football association are the first to come up with competition between regional football in clubs in Britain. Next is the FIFA or the Federation Internationale de Football Association. I mean, FIFA is one of the international governing body of the Football Association, futsal, beach soccer, and also FIFA is one of the world's oldest and largest NGOs, being founded on May 21, 1904. Okay. Ebenezer Morley as father of the Football Association. So actually, there is no single individual can really claim to being the inventor of football. However, Ebenezer Morley has been referred to as the father of the Football Association. Why? So aside from he was the founder of the Barnes Football Club, actually, Morley is the one who created the first official rules of the game because during his play as the team captain, he realized how violent the game was. And also, with the help of the FA, the game was standardized across the country. So, Morley, during his game, he personally wrote a law or rules to come up with this game. So, Walter Camp, father of American football. So in father of the Football Association, Ebenezer Morley has been claimed. Also, in American football, there are also Walter Camp. So, I mean, Walter Camp he is a professor and a captain or member of intercollege football, and he is the one who created the roles of committee for 48 years. Here is the picture. There is a picture of Walter Camp. So what were the early forms of football? So this is ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. So the earliest form of football, so other forms have been recorded elsewhere and much earlier. So the earliest form of football is understood to be Cujo, which played in China during the Han Dynasty from 206 BC to 220 AD. So actually, Cujo translates as kick ball, and this sport is a competitive game that it involves kicking the ball through a net, and using a hand is not allowed. And Cujo is seen by the FIFA as the earliest form of football. Okay, this gamery was being influenced by the Chinese sport Cujo. But unlike to the Chinese, this game is a non-competitive sport. The objectives of the gamery is only to keep one ball in the air in any parts of their body. And lastly, in ancient Greece, a game similar to football existed, which was called Episkouros. So also this game was also a violent one because it was believed that this game was being played, you know, in preparation for their battle. So it's like they are playing this for their warrior strength in like in potency of their, I mean like in their muscle, in their leg muscles. So that is why they played football.
So these are the governing bodies of FIFA, and FIFA's headquarters are located in Zurich. So there are six regional confederations that are associated with FIFA, and these are Confederación Sudamericana de Fútbol, commonly known as CONMEBOL, and next is Asian Football Confederation or AFC, Africa, Confederation of African Football, in Europe, Union of European Football Associations or UEFA, Confederation of North, Central American and Caribbean Association Football or CONCACAF, the Oceania Football Confederation or OFC. So modern football originated in Britain in the 19th century, though folk folk football has been played since medieval times with varying rules. The game began to be standardized when it was taken up as a winter game at public schools. And around 1895, football was introduced in the Philippines. What happened here was some Filipinos was sent in Hong Kong and China to study college. And when they get back here in the Philippines, they taught their friends a little bit of the game football. So within a year, there were two or three football clubs established in Manila. And as of today, the current and active football club is Ascal's Development Team, where, as we all know, Phil Younghusband, who is a professional football player, was part of the Team Ascals, who represent Philippine national team for football.
Football trivia. Our first football trivia is Mark Hughes. Mark Hughes, a Manchester United player and a world star, had to feature in two football matches in a single day. Alam niyo ba, playing two matches in a single day, maniwala mo kayo hindi, football was not always such a cash-rich sport na ngayon ay ngayon. Today, players generally get 4 to 5 days rest between two matches, and when the schedule is tight, they start at 2 days time to recover, both mentally and physically. Grabe, Diyos si Mark, no? Good kayo ni siya ba? Into football match in a single day. And our next trivia is football or soccer ball. Alam niyo ba, itong bola na ito, confuse ang mga American and Canadian kung ano ba talaga football or soccer. Pero, believe it or not, na ang England ang nagmula sa salitang soccer but stopped using the word more than 35 years ago. So, pag soccer ang tawag nila dito, ay alam na nila na galing ito sa England word. Our next trivia is Neil Armstrong. Ang unang tao who set his foot on the moon wanted to take a football there just because sa pagmamahal niya sa magandang laro. Finally, NASA or National Aeronautics and Space Administration did not let him because they thought it would be to an American. Sayang ano kasi hindi siya pinayagan ng National Aeronautics and Space Administration na let him because they thought it will be an American.
Okay, so let's move forward to the dimensions of the game. So the size of a football soccer or soccer field is about 100 meters long and 60 meters wide. But in official games, there are regulations about the minimum and maximum dimension. In the world of football, the most official dimensions are those that had been decided by FIFA or the Federation Internationale de Football Association. So according to the stipulations from FIFA, a football field should have a specific minimum and maximum dimensions. The length must be minimum of 90 meters or 100 yards and maximum of 120 meters or 130 yards. So the width has to be minimum of 45 meters or 50 yards and has the maximum of 90 meters or 100 yards. So for international matches, the rules are somewhat stricter. So the length has to be minimum of 100 meters and has a maximum of 110 meters. And the width has to be minimum of 64 meters and maximum of 75 meters. The goal area, it is the small box inside the penalty area. So as you can see in the illustration, the small box here is called the goal area. So the FIFA rules stipulates that the distance from each goal post to the lines that goes parallel with the touch line should be in 5.5 meters. So when the size of a standard goal is added, it makes the distance between the lines of 18.32 meters.
These are some famous stadiums and dimension of football fields. Camp Nou, Wembley, Old Trafford, Emirates Stadium, San Siro, Allianz Arena, and Maracanã, Tottenham's Hotspur Stadium, Stamford Bridge, Anfield. So these famous stadiums are located in Canada, Germany, and Spain. So one of the biggest stadium in the world is located at North Korea. So these are the examples of mga famous stadiums. So the grassland, the typical length of the grass on a pitch is 2.25 to 30 millimeters. It is equivalent in 1 inch. The grass is often cut from the side to side in every other length, which bring visible stripe on the grass. This is made to help the assistant referees to spot offside easier by giving vertical referees. So why is it that the grass is 25 to 30 millimeters? It is because the grass affects the spin of the ball. So that's why the grass must be cut at the same height. The grass type. Depending on the climate, different tall grass is needed. In a cooler region, grass species like raygrass, meadowgrass, and tall ficus is used. In a warmer region, species such as Bermuda grass, zoysia species, and seashore paspalum is used. So usually, colder region grass, it is hard to reseed. It is because it takes over years or 1 year to reseed some kind of grass. So usually ang mga ginagamit ng mga warmers Usually kay makikita natin sa TV is mga warmer regions like Bermuda grass, ganyan. The drainage among the UEFA stands for Union European Football Association. It is accompanied with FIFA. Sila yung nag-set standard sa football matches. So why it is important to avoid pitch is filled with water in heavy rain? It is because some instances that the players slippery siya. So na instances na some players is ma-injured it because ang grass ang pitch is kang dagan siya filled siya water. So isa pud siya sa ang sun dominant zone below the pitch turf is kanang it also to avoid slippery na floor and also para pod sa safety performance sa mga athletes.
So there are 17 laws of football. Football rules and regulations are maintained and updated annually by the International Football Association Board or IFAB. It means that according to the definition of IFAB, the laws of the game are codified rules of the Association of Football. It means that the laws are administered by the IFAB. They meet at least once a year to debate and decide any changes in the rules and regulations of the football. So the board consists of 8 members, 4 of which come from FIFA. FIFA is one of the football organization, and the other 4 coming from England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, all countries that contribute players in each team, the length of an official game, the size of fields, and also many other laws that define the sport. So the first law is the field of play. The football or soccer field must be rectangular in shape and distinctly marked by 2 or short goal lines and long touch lines. As you can see in the picture, the field is divided into halves, separated by the halfway, which runs from the midpoint of each touch line. So the opposing player are not allowed to enter this circle during the possessing team's kick-off. So there are regulation length that is standard in the football field. So there are touch line, which is the minimum of that is 90 meters or 100 yards, and the maximum is 120 meters. The width or the goal line is minimum 45 meter or 50 yards, and the maximum is 90 meter or 100 yards. So at each end of the field is an 8-yard wide goal centered along the goal line. So in each of the 4 corners of the held 5-foot high corner flag. So this is the standard of the football field. So the next law is the ball. A soccer ball is made of leather or another comparable medium. So the ball should be inflated to a pressure range of 0.6 to 1.1 atmosphere. So there is a standard soccer ball. It should be spherical with a circumference in range of 68 to 70 centimeter and the weight in between 410 grams and 450 grams. So the next law is the number of players. So according to the rules, a football match is played between 2 teams. Each team consists of 11 players, including the goalkeeper. If a team cannot field at least 7 players at match time, the game is forfeit. So what do you mean by forfeit? So in various sports like football, a forfeit is a method in which a match automatically ends or the forfeiting team loses. Meaning, if the one team is unable or refuses to meet the standard of the player, the game before the game begins or as a result of action or that happened during the match, the forfeiting team loses. And also the substitutions may only enter at the halfway line upon the referee's approval. Dapat may referee's approval. And after the player being sub out has left the pitch, and the goalkeeper may be substituted with anyone or any eligible substitute on the bench during the game will stop. So the fourth law is the players' equipment. So all players are required to wear a jersey, short, shin guards, socks, and cleats. The sock must cover the shin guards entirely. If the referee see or saw a player's equipment hindi kompleto or hindi siya na-satisfied, the player can be sent off until the issue is solved. The teams playing should have different colors of jersey to distinguish from their opponent. So the fifth law is the referee. The referee is authority on the field and his word is law. The referee are responsible to a proper or maintain the proper decorum of the game and penalize a player for breaking the rules. And the referee has the power to stop the game at any point whenever he believes that may makikita siyang mali sa paglaro. If questions to a referee's decision, you can be disciplined for further simply for dissent. So the sixth law is the assistant referees. So the assistant referees are primarily responsible for assisting the referee in performing his duties. This include the signaling with a flag when a ball goes off play. So the assistant referees helps the referee to conduct the match in a fair manner in accordance with the rules. The assistant referee helps the referees in making decision in regardings with the foul, handball, or any penalty that it will be fair to anyone. So the next law
is the duration of the match. So a typically football match is divided into two halves, each of 45 minutes with a 15 minutes break in between. So if ever na mag-break na yung time, so the referee iyahang i-off yung time. And then at the end of each half, the referee may add an extra time approximately that is proportional to the length of delay. So this is called as stoppage time or the injury time. So in case of merong mag-tie ng 19 minutes, so if a winner has to be decided, then the two teams plays another two halves of 15 minutes so each. So if the match still remain tied after the extra 30 minutes, then the decision is made via a penalty shutout. So what is penalty shutout? So is method of determining a winner in sports matches that the world have otherwise been shown or tied. Next will be the start and the restart of play. So before, a coin toss is in place before kick-off. So the winner of the toss decided whether his team would kick off in first half or second half. So in addition, so to start the match, the kick-off also occurs. So the first one is when a goal is scored. So the second one is to initiate the second half. And then the third one is to start each half of extra time. So in this law, it is that if ever na yung team A is manalo or naka-goal, so the team B will be magkakaroon ng free kick-off para magkakaroon din sila ng score if ever. So during the kick-off, each players of the opposing team must be at least 9.15 meters from the ball. So why is it nga ang players of opposing team must be at least 9.15 meters from the ball? So because the wall has 10 yards from the ball under the IFAB rule. So which is 9.15 meter in a metric system. So yung free kick awarded after a team commits a foul. So yun siya. So next will be the ball in out play. So, the ball is considered out of play when the whole of the ball has crossed the goal line or touchline, or when the referee has blown a whistle to pause the game. So kapag yung bola is nasa loob, is this is what we call the in play. While yung bola is nasa labas na ng white line or the goal line will be the out of play. So apart from these two situations, so the ball is considered to be always in play. So 10th, law the methods of scoring. So a goal is scored when the whole of the ball complete process over goal line, in the goal post and under the bar. So from the direct free kick or penalty kick provided in fragment of the loss of game. So in order you team na mag-score, so you have to make sure na naka-goal ka. Doon yun pasok sa net. And then dapat di siya makatch goalkeeper. So next, law 11 will be the offside rule, considered to be one of the keyest rules in football. So the basic concept of this rule is that if a player is nearer to his opponent's goal in that than the second last opponent and the ball, so then the player is considered to be in an offside position. So there will be penalty, or a player is penalized for being an offside position when the referee is believed that he or she is gaining an advantage over the opposition when the player's team impacts the play. So there is no offside when the player receives the ball directly from a goal kick, through in, or the corner kick. So, though 12. So this is the foul and misconduct. Misconduct is where a player deliberately pushes, hold, or kick his or her opponents. So fouls occurs when the action is mostly accidental. So when a player is trying to get the ball from the opponent when ball is in play pa. And a referee can penalize a player, then issue a yellow card or a red card. So it is depending upon the seriousness of the foul or behavior of the player. So the first yellow card received allows the player to continue the match. So whereas the second yellow card, so pag ikadalawa na siyang yellow card, so it is received by the player will equate to a red card na. And when a player is shown a red card, he or she will have to leave the field. So 13.
Free kicks. Free kicks is broken into two categories, direct and indirect. So which means when we say direct free kick is one where the kicker can choose to score without passing it to another player. Then when we say indirect, indirect free kick is one where the ball must go another player before it is being taken towards the goal to score. 14. The penalty kick. A penalty is awarded to a team when an opposition player commits a major foul or deliberately handles the ball. So it means that the ball is placed on the penalty spot and only the goalkeeper and the penalty taker is allowed to be inside the box when a penalty kick is taken. The throw-in. A throw-in is an awarded to team when the last touch of the ball is by an opposing player before the ball has gone out of touchline. So it means that to correct the through the ball, the player must have both feet on the ground both hands on the ball and delivers the ball from behind over his or her head. 16. The goal kick. A goal kick is awarded to a team when the opposition team puts the ball completely over the goal line and a goal has not been scored. So it means that the ball is then kicked from any position within the goal by a player of the defending team. The ball must pass the penalty area and the kicker can touch it before it has been touched by another player. The last law, which is the corner kick, a corner kick is awarded to an attacking team when the defending team puts the ball completely over the goal line without it having to pass in between the goal post and under crossbar. So it means that the ball is placed next to the corner flag and all the players from the opposing team must remain 9.15 meters away from the corner or until the ball is in play.
So the history and the law and also the rules are already explained. So now we proceed to the hand signals of football. So by the learning various hand signals used by soccer referees will help us whether you're a player or a spectator, and especially to us BPE students, it is a part of our field to know about these kind of things. So soccer hand signals is very important during the game, and this is the reason why the game to have a fair play and equity, to have an equity game. The first hand signals is indirect free kick. Indirect free kick means that someone else that has to touch the ball before it can be taken as a shot on goal. So for this signal, the referee blows the whistle and with her free hand points directly toward the sky. So just like this. And then the referee explain who is receiving the free kick and what for. They will also hold their hand up in the air for a few seconds while they explain which team is receiving the free kick. And for additional information, guys, take note of this. Indirect free kick are different from free kicks in that you are not allowed to shoot at the goal. If you were to score from the indirect free kick and the ball had not touched someone else on the field, the goal would not count on, or it's useless or countless. That is indirect free kick. The next one is advantage. So in advantage, the referee puts out both of their arms parallel in front of them. So just like this, as you can see the picture, that is parallel sign pointing towards the goal of the team that has the advantage. For example, if a defender fouls the attacker but the attacker still has the chance for at the goal, the referee shows the advantage signal. No, the referee automatically signal the advantage sign, which is the parallel front. As you can see the picture, that is parallel front signal. So that is advantage. Substitution. So I know that it is very familiar to all of you. Substitution. So it holds the flag in both hands above the head. Throw in. Points the flag in the direction of the throw in. The whistle is generally used to signal the starting or stopping a play. So it is for the signal, the sidelines referee run to the halfway along the side of the field and make a rectangle above. So with their arms and the flag, so that is position. They usually hold that flag for 5 to 10 seconds so the people get a chance to see it and to know what is a hand signal of the ref do. So that is the signal of substitution. The offside. So a player is on offside position if any part of head, body, or feet is in opponent's half, including the halfway line, and any part of the head, body, or feet is near his goal in goal line than both the ball and the second last opponent. So in offside, the referee blows whistle. As you can see the picture, just like and line his arm straight up, reflect the AR's goals, keep arm raised until the ball is kicked and the touch by the another player. So what do you mean by AR's call? So AR's mean assistant referee or a lineman or a linewoman. So this is the time that the referee signal offside violation to the referee. Then he shows the location or then his flag out in front of him. So just like this, the referee, the flag, yellow and the flag, that is the sign of or signal of the offside. A throw in is awarded to the opponents of the player who last touch the ball past the touchline on the ground or in the air. When the ball crosses the touchline near to the assistant referee's position, the assistant referee must make a direct signal, automatic, and to indicate the direction of the throw in. By doing throw in, signal make sure that the flag should not be brought across the back and the flag should be switched to the particular or appropriate hand. So that is throw in.
A player is cautioned if guilty of delaying the start of play, dissent by a word of action, entering, re-entering, or deliberately leaving the field of play without a referee permission, failing to respect the required distance when the play is restarted, with a drop ball, corner kick, free kick, or throw in. For example, kaning gikuhit lang tapos nagkuha siya nagligid-ligid siya. Wala siya nga ay foul kay gitusok niya akong mata, gitusok gikuha ko niya parang gipoke ko niya, kusog kaayo. Mo na siya ang example nga hatag sila og yellow card. Then dili na sila makastart without the referee's permission. Then dili sila mo required nga kaning mo demand sila sa referee nga mo ni ang violation or mo ni apply sila ng violation dili hatagan na sila og yellow card. So wala siyang caution. Direct free kick. So direct free kick awarded to a team as a result of a foul by an opposing player and from which a goal can be scored directly without the ball being touched by another player. So, free kick, so parasa na nakita na sila lahat na nakaharang sa goal, nakaharang sila para depensaan nila ang free kick. So, ang free kick is awarded to a team. So, opponent player that rewarded for a free kick resulted of a foul by opposing player. So, mawala siya, no? So, naay defense nga gina-implement sa mga other players. So, mawala siya ginahatag sa referee pag naay foul sa other team. Sending off. If there is a sending off during a game of football, a player is told to leave the field by the referee. It's a punishment or seriously breaking the rules. He is about to begin a 3-match ban after his third sending off the season. For example, kung nag-violate siya sa rules inside the court of the soccer field. Kung gi-violate niya again and again, so mo na ang consequence sa player nga i-ban siya, begin a 3-match ban after his third sending off. So na siya limit. So third sending off. So katulo nimo nga violation or other saying nag-violate ka sa inyong match, kumaban ka sa inyong sa liga, maban ka sa liga. Offside near side of the field. So offside if they are in the opposing team's half of the field and also near to the opponent's goal line than both the ball and the second last opponent. So mo na siya, no, ang referee mo signal na siya na ay flag sa right side niya, magtindog na siya sa may flag Tapos muna sila ang pasabot nga kaning kung sa tennis na sport, diya sila mag start sa end of lane or diya sa may or half circle good magsipa sila dira sa near sa goal offside in the center of the field. He is nearer to his opponent's goal than both ball and the second last opponent. A violation will occur when is in a offside position. Use bullet point at the same time the ball is being passed toward to him. So nakita na to sa image no and sa action sa ato ang referee nga diri sa left side nga nag-raise siya ay naghatag siya og flag within the center of the body. So natin nakita nga player nga naa sa kilid. So sa kilid siya sa court sa soccer field. Directing siya sa center. Upside in the center of the field. So mo na siya no. Offside. So padulong siya sa center of the field. Mo na siya ang kuan sa referee nga kuan ganing violation will occur when he is in an offside position. So murag kanang nagadala siya sa bola ba. Tapos direct siya dito musulod. Offside in the far side of the field. So offside in the far side of the field when an assistant referee signals an offside decision by holding the flag out in the front of him at above of the head height when he signifies that the player in a offside position was on the far side of the pitch. So makita na no ang referee maghatag na siya og signal. Assistant referee na siya no. Assistant referee hatag na siya og signal sa kani sa head referee or sa sa players. Pupito na siya no. So nana siya sa corner sa field. So offside position mo tong i-discuss to ganina no. So offside position mo nasa sa kilid sa field offside and the far side of the field murag nasa sa padulungay pa sila sa Picas Court good. Picas Court pero nasa sa pinakakilid. So mo siya no.
Okay, that ends our discussion for today's meeting. Thank you everyone for listening.